Good evening and welcome, as always, to Super League Raw Weekly. Greg Roach is already in the chat, being his usual jovial self. He went to a cannibal wedding today. It was going well until they decided to toast the bride and groom. It can only get better from there. Anyway, good to have Greg with us as always. Steve Wilson in the house. Sally Nixon. I know somebody called Sally Nixon.
Really?
Sally Nixon in the house as well. But yeah, great to have everybody along this evening. We hope that you are all well, and I'm sure that you are. But yes, I'd like to start this evening with a bit of a solemn one. My ex-teacher, a wonderful fella called Frank Hawley, passed away on Sunday night. An absolute gentleman, a massive rugby league advocate. As you can see there, he was a linesman in the game. He ran the line, grand finals, Challenge Cups, International Rugby League. One incredible man. So anybody who knew him, the tributes have been exceptional, both within the rugby league community, but also those who knew him. And I think what really stood Mr. Hawley out, he'll always be Mr. Hawley or Sir to me, is just that the students that have posted his passing have all said the same thing. In our later years, he often said to us, "Please call me Frank," but we always said back to him, "No, you're Sir," because the respect that he deserved, and that extended into the game of rugby league as well. I saw him last year at the Hull KR game. He was timekeeper at Warrington in his later career in his rugby circles, and he told me of his illness. And he handled it with great dignity, as I'd expect that he would do. And my words to him then ring true again today, and I'll repeat them. I just said to him that the measure of a man is the amount of lives that he touches, and he touched many. So
yeah, very sad.
Really sad news.
I met Frank a couple of times myself. Met him at a church do, would you believe? We had a good chat about the state of the game. Very, very knowledgeable about the game.
Absolutely.
As I always gave it from the referee's perspective as well, which was quite enlightening and shed light on it. I know a lot of people who knew Mr. Hawley. He never taught me. I'm not a good Catholic boy, so he never taught me. But yeah, very, very sad news this week.
It was, mate. And I think, all I would say to anybody is, I think the true measure of any teacher is if you saw them walking down the street on the other side of the road, how many of you would cross the road to go and shake the hand and talk to him? Mr. Hawley, I think every student that he ever taught would cross that road to shake the man's hand and to have a conversation. He was absolutely superb. So I just wanted to pay a little tribute to Mr. H. He'll be sorely missed. And our thoughts go to his wonderful family. He's an incredible family man. But like I say, he loved his rugby league. Let's get the show off to the right start. He would insist on it. He loved a good try. So this one's for you, Mr. H. Here's the tries of the week. Enjoy.
Seize the day.
So there they are, this week's prize of the week. Plenty of good ones in there, Greg, as we do every week. What was your pick of that lot?
It's got to be Josh Charlie's.
Charlie's.
His entire body is in touch.
Yeah,
except the hand with the ball. Yeah. He's so good at that. He's so good at finishing like that, Josh Charlie. That's Liam Marshall. How fast is he?
Mate, unbelievable.
I genuinely thought there was going to be a coyote painting a railway track and a brick wall in front of him. A bit of birdseed on try line, outstanding. But yeah, no, what a bunch of tries, offloads, lovely kicking. I mean, God, we've seen the full array of great tries, and we'll look at all of those in a minute in terms of the highlights, the highlight reel. I thought the Hanley try was a thing of beauty. I have to say, Nene McDonald had a really good game, I thought.
He did, but like so did Ash Hanley. It's interesting when you actually compare and contrast them. McDonald got quite a lot of headlines, but Hanley in that other centre role played really, really well. Yeah. Right, lots to get through. We'll do the news segment before we look at the highlights. That's what we do. No place that we can start other than at Castleford. Of course, announced yesterday morning. We broke the news very quickly on our page. Leigh Radford leaving Castleford, and when you actually read the statement that he put out, it seems to me he's walked. He's not been sacked. That's how it read to me. I don't know about you.
I've been talking to a couple of Castleford fans, and apparently words have been said between him and the board. Don't know how true that is.
Right.
And it's been decided that they have different ideas, let's say, on the direction the club was going in. So how true that is, I don't know. But yeah, it would appear from the statement that he's kind of maybe jumped before he's been pushed, perhaps.
Look, yeah, seems that way.
Yeah, Justin Morgan, one of the favourites, Andrew Henderson as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, we posted on our page earlier, the runners and the riders for that. But at the moment, Justin Morgan expected to be high up there. Say Henderson's in the mix as well. Danny Maguire has also been touted as an outsider. That'll be interesting. Joel Scholes, good evening, Joel. He's saying whenever you hear mutual agreement, usually it's a walk. So that's interesting. Coming from him, good evening, Joel, as always. David Wright, good evening. Carl Johnson, Peter Mason, Ian Brooks, they're all flying in. It's great to have you with us. We're going to get to the highlights in a minute, usual features in a minute, but we're going through the news stories. So let's obviously Castleford, three games, 3 defeats, now no coach, and of course. Go to Huddersfield. We'll talk about that later. Let's jump ship. Another team that is struggling, Wakefield. Terrible news today that we've seen the last of Lewis Murphy in Super League. He has gone down with an ACL and out for the season. That on top of the likes of Max Jowett, Tanganoa also expecting not to be there. Reece Lynn also struggling with injuries. They are threadbare. By law, do they need to sign some players?
They do. Well, that Leigh result on Friday really didn't help Wakefield's cause.
No.
Wakefield, no disrespect to Wakefield fans, but I think a lot of people have said that it could be their turn to finally leave Super League this year. That they would be hoping that Leigh might be the team that keep them in there. But you're right, they need to get some loan signings in or splash the cash at some point.
They're a team.
Their squad's looking very, very thin at this moment in time.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, again, like yourself, spoke to a lot of people. The word toothless was used in terms of their attack. And when you consider, they haven't scored a point now in 2 games. We said at the start of the season.
They've lost Jacob Miller.
Yeah.
That's a massive blow.
Yeah, too much on Lino. Wakey fans, get in touch on the chat. What's your thoughts? You've got to be feeling.
What do you think, Wakey fans? Are you worried? We're 3 games in.
Absolutely. But I think when you base it
on... Our Wakey fans genuinely worried.
Well, I would be. Strength in depth. They're losing too much good talent. I think I'd genuinely be worried. And when you look at the Leigh team, again, not maybe a lot of depth, but a lot of experience. And that could be the difference. Speaking of defence, Tony Smith came out and, he was disappointed with his defence at Castleford. We'll get to the highlights later on that. Couple of polls that we ran this week in terms of who did our fans forum believe was the player of the round. No surprises. George Williams just about came out on top. Lachlan Lamb, though, running very, very close for that award. We also put a poll out as well. How long into Brodie Croft's 8 years will he stay at Salford? And the consensus of the forum was anywhere from 1 to 3 years, with the most votes going that he'll go at the end of the year, which just seems incredible. But that's what the fans forum are saying.
Incredible. But whatever happens, it's extremely clever business from Salford.
Yeah.
Because he's going to command quite a large transfer fee.
Absolutely.
He either sees out his career with Salford or they get a massive, very, very clever business. I would be surprised if he goes this year. I think he may well give it a couple of seasons and then see where he is. Yeah. But stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened.
They have, mate. They have. Other news. Let's thank the Lord for Alistair McCoist. That's all I'm going to say. Ali McCoist is a legend because he managed to make sure that John Wilkin did not win the Pundit of the Year at the Sports Journalist Awards last night. Thank you, Sir Alistair. There is a God and he is watching. However, I'm only joking, John, if you're watching, he says. But actually, other good news at the Sports Journalist Awards,
Rob
Channel
Burrows.
4's coverage, I'll come to him, but
Sorry,
Channel 4's coverage was voted in second place, only behind ITV's World Cup coverage. And when you consider the sporting events that have took place this year, the Europeans, with the women's game and football, etc., I think for Adam Hills and the Channel 4 team to have come second in that particular category was brilliant news for the game of rugby league.
Done a great job. They've done an absolutely fantastic job. It's enjoyable. So sometimes it gets a bit, there's a few loose moments in it, and a bit like looks like it's been thrown together sometimes. But it is so much.
It's human, mate. It's human.
It features people who genuinely love the game, and I'm not saying that the Sky pundits don't genuinely love the game, but they're excited, they're enthusiastic to be there. They're on the pitch. They've got different voices. They've got Sam Tompkins, but nothing's perfect.
Tompkins is everywhere, as Mr. Drinkwater said. Show us the cash. But
I opened a bag of crisps the other day in the kitchen, and he was stood behind me. So you know what I
mean. Oh dear Lord, that's a good line. Actually, I like that one. Rob Burrow, obviously getting the documentary of the year as well. Great, and of course in number 10 as well, pictures of him and the Prime Minister also being awarded for his contribution for raising the profile of MND. Rob continues to just surpass all expectations. And
also got a mention on the One Show tonight when they had two ex-England Rugby Union players talking about the return of the Six Nations this week. It's been going on for about 6 weeks, as far as I'm concerned. But so why it needs a special slot on the One Show, I don't know. But at least they talked about Rob Burrow and the work that Kevin Sinfield's doing. Go on.
Joel here in the chat. I can't believe I didn't get nominated for the Relief Commentator of the Year. Joel, good effort, mate. Good effort. Love it.
I voted for you, Joel.
I'd have voted for him as well. Outstanding effort last year. The only other thing really that has really probably engaged our attention, of course, we'll watch the highlights in a minute. But I said before we came on air, if I was a Saints fan, and I'm certainly not, I would be livid, absolutely livid with what happened on Friday night. Livid. I mean, for in the same game, for Walters not to be judged with cameras on it, even all the Sky commentators were saying it. I don't think it was a shoulder challenge. Doesn't even get 10. And then Hurrell, very similar incident. There's not an awful lot in it. Gets a straight red, and then the disciplinary committee do rule that it was a shoulder charge and fine 250 quid.
But only fine it.
What's going on?
What's the difference between Hurrell's shoulder charge? He gets 2 games. 2 badges in the back that get two badges in the back that get a game, and a shoulder charge that is only 250 quid. Hello.
I know. And then not just that, from a Saints perspective, Warrington get 2 penalty tries, one an absolute, the one on Fewless. I don't think anybody can.
Both a penalty. Both for 8 tries.
Second one, I can understand what look, it's a slap around the chops. It was an open hand.
Yeah. As Jonathan Davis said in 2019, it was a calculated smack to the chops.
Well, okay, but for me, I can understand people having a bit of an issue with the second one. That said, Percival, if you're going to give 2 in the Thursday night game, I think Percival had a shout, and that could have been 8 points, and there you go.
Well, he looked like a pretzel. He was bent that far backwards.
He was bent that, he was absolutely.
That was an 8-point try. I mean, the guy.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know what shape you called the shape that Percival ended up in when he put the ball down, but it certainly wasn't natural.
No,
but,
it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
mean, we Warrington know we've been victim to last-minute drop goals by Saints on numerous occasions, and it hurts.
Look, I'm sorry, Saints fans. For the competition, it's a great result because I do think we need a more. Sorry, Saints fans, we need a new winner this year. It's becoming sterile.
What I don't agree with, and I probably sound, I've been no angel myself on the terraces at times, as most people who know me know. I always have a big gap around me stood at games, but the behaviour of some of the Saints fans at the end for the Sky interview.
Oh, mate. Where's the class?
Lads, come on.
You've just won a World Club challenge, right? You're on the top of you're at the top of the tree. The eyes of the world are on you on your televised game, and you've got fans interrupting interviews and I mean, I'm sorry, but you know, and for 1 minute I'm going to wear my colours. I try to be unbiased there, but I'm telling you now, all last season, not once did I see that at a Warrington game, and we were shocking. You're watching the, you know, arguably, well, the best team in the competition. You're very fortunate to be watching that level of rugby league week in, week out. You've lost the game, and rather than being sporting and take it on the chin, you're going to behave like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're talking a few mindless people. We're not talking about all of the Saints fans here, but it's just a bad look for the club, isn't it?
Come on, let's have a bit. We have all lost games where we blame the referee, where things haven't gone our way. In any sport, but you know, cricket, you blame the umpire. Come on, like you say, your team has travelled X amount of thousands of miles. They beat the best in Australia. They've gone down by a point.
Yeah, in a great game.
When jet lag had obviously kicked in, as it does, it kicks in a few days later. They were on pure adrenaline against Castleford. That left them on Friday night. And they had a few dodgy decisions against them. That's fair to say, but
fair play to you and Phil, mate, because you both called it. You both called Leeds last week. I didn't see that. And you know, Steve Hartley, Jay, good evening, Steve. Good evening to a man called Alan Kane. I wonder who he is. Good evening, sir.
Alan Kane. Has he got a cup of tea?
But more than likely, I mean, Graham Parrish, our friend Graham, saying 2 fantastic games at the weekend on Sky. And but it's that word consistency, and you know, that's the thing with the Rugby Football League, especially disciplinary and all that surrounds disciplinary. You've got to get a grip of it because it makes it a laughing stock. Yeah. Speaking of decisions, Sean Kenny Dow, can anybody tell me what he's been given 4 games for?
No, I've seen a clip of it on Twitter, and all I can see is he pulls his hand away as if.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Josh Charlie one last year that nobody knows to this day what Josh Charlie and Paul Cullen blankly refused to discuss it. I noticed a few weeks later. But he was discussing disciplinary decisions. Nobody knows what Josh Charlie was banned for last season. I think he's pleaded guilty simply because he knows that if he doesn't, he'll get an extra game. That's not judiciary. That's a firing squad.
Well, it is. It's a dictatorship, is what it is, and it needs to be. Squad. It's not, it needs to be sorted.
You know, if you have to, like Maguire said, he doesn't know what that word means. I don't know how true that is. And because he said that, they gave him an extra game on top. Yeah. Come on.
No, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Having said that, do you know the Rugby League rule book is about 850 pages long? 850. That's Lord of the Rings size.
And to be honest, let's be fair. It's not a complex game, is it?
No, the game.
And that's why we love it. And that's why we love it, because it is easy to understand.
The rules of any sport should fit on one side of A4 paper of any sport. Once it goes beyond that, you're overcomplicating it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
850 odd pages of rules and regulations.
Shocking, mate. But anyway, there you go. So yeah, plenty in the news. Hopefully we've covered everything. Keep talking to us in the chat. It's great to have the comments in. We'll keep giving you a shout out, which is fantastic. But let's take a look at how the Super League Raw Fans Forum Mini League is going. Here it is. And Reggie's Rovers, nothing to do with Reggie on the screen, continues.
It'd be bottom if it was.
Have the first 2 places there. There's the password. There's the pin. Join us on that. Matthew K back into the top 5, as is David Wright still there. John Mason, a Giants fan, in 3rd place at this moment in time. Really good to see. Who knows how that one's going to pan out. Get your transfers in. It's a new month. You've now got 4 more in the bag. And of course, with all the disciplinaries and injuries that took place, perhaps people will be changing their team this week. Right, before we get into the action, shall we take a look at the star performers from round number 3?
I think we must, sir. I think
we should. Here are the star performers from round number 3. the top performers from round number 3. Some really good performances in there. 302 metres, Leigh Marshall. Incredible, absolutely superb. Reece Martin picking up 2 there. 2 highest level performances in round 3. So great performance there. I'm sure they may appear in our team of the week. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's get into some action. And of course, it all kicked off at the Halliwell Jones on Thursday night. Here we go. It's Warrington, of course, against Salford. Great game. Game of 2 halves. And Williams was on fire.
I would say probably his best performance in a wire shirt. Controversial,
all day,
maybe,
mate, all day, by far and away. He's growing in confidence every single game.
He's got an organising half-back with him. He's got a big pack in front of him.
Look at that for a ball. I mean, that's a play playing with confidence in it. And look at this lovely little kick. And that's it with Williams in this game. It was a bit of everything, grubber kicks, everything. You know, he was just on it, absolutely on it. But what I would say about Salford, and again, some bad news for Salford fans tonight. Joe Burgess and Oliver Partington expected to be on the sidelines.
Oliver Partington had a real good first half.
He's been quality for him, mate, as we thought he would be. But this was as close to the Salford of 2022 that I've seen this season in 23. Warrington were feared to death for Tim Lafine that first half. They did not get a hold of him. Yeah,
it's quality. I'd even go to say Warrington are a Tim Lafine short of being a grand final winning team.
Well, that's high praise indeed, but we do like Lafine.
We need, no disrespect to Matalti and Ratchford, but that's the kind of centre we need.
Yeah, quality, mate. Absolute quality.
Elliot Whitehead scored against his paymasters.
And this was George's. Sorry, was it George? It was George who did that pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
that was his worst moment of the night. And Brearley, when he's got that much room, he's not getting caught. Great player, Brearley. I mean, all this talk of Brearley's yellow card, we'll see that in a minute. I was at that end of the ground. I think Warrington had about maybe 2, possibly 3 repeat sets on their own line, and Salford fans need to understand this.
I think the
referee spoke to, I heard it, he spoke to Watkins and said, tidy it up or the next one goes. The next one just happened to be Ryan Brearley. It was something and nothing, but at that point he had enough. And
it was soft.
It was soft.
There was worse offences in the game that went unpunished.
100%.
There really were.
That was poor defence. It's a good try, but it's poor defence as well. And at this point,
Salford Sneed scores a try, is it? But he usually scores one like that.
It's a big hole, that, mate. It's a big hole. But interestingly, I said at half time, if Warrington scored first, second half, I fancy him. I don't know why. It's a different Warrington in 2023. And, Williams, lovely lofted ball out wide to and Ashton's finishing. You talked about Chandler. The game at the minute is littered with quality finishes.
I mean, there's Jack Smith. I think he was on a bonus for every try Warrington try he took to the screen. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Ashton, that's a lovely finish. And what was interesting as well, I saw on one of the social media channels, the same try happened last year where Brodie Croft tried to push it. It was almost like it says the same outcome 2 different years, and it's virtually the same photograph.
But like the commentary said, I watched it when I got in from the game.
Yeah.
Attack the ball, the arm that's holding the ball,
He has a second nibble there. It's soft, but like I say, the warning had been given to Callum Watkins.
It's very, very soft. It's very soft.
It's very, very soft.
Like I say, there were times in the first half where both sides were getting the tents out and pitching camp. They were lying on that much.
Yeah,
it's a very, very soft yellow.
It was absolutely 100%. Like I say, he's got to take that one on the chin. Vaughan again, another commanding performance. Pleased for McKaylee. Again, not sure why this went up to the video ref. Quite frankly, but you're not stopping him from 5 meters from there, are you? When he's
like you say, I think he was on a bonus. I think he had a bet.
Yeah, no,
but,
very well taken.
He stood there. He sees it. Why does he need to go to the screen?
Don't know, mate.
I think Jack Smith's not. I don't think Jack Smith's a bad referee, but I just
he had a shocker.
He had a bit of a shocker on Friday night.
This was a beautiful try. This ball now from Ratchford. Superb. Ashton has been in incredible form, both in terms of try scoring, but he's running out of defence and in attack.
Look at that. That was brilliant.
Measured kick.
This is class.
I was right in line with that. Trust me, Fulis was onside, no question.
And the knees are naughty there.
Knees are naughty, not needed. Dupree had a good game, and speaking of, Dupree actually got 2 man of steel points. I don't quite understand where he had a good game.
I'm not quite sure that. But I thought he might get a ban for that, I must admit, rather than just a fine.
Yeah, it was needless.
That's naughty.
I think the thing was it wasn't really at speed. I think if it had been a bit more in it, I think perhaps. But
cost me 5 points that Miss Rashford.
Yeah, but it gave me 5, so happy days. But yeah,
oh, that's all right then.
All right, mate. You know what I mean? All's fair in love and
That's
war.
all
But
right then.
in terms of the point scoring, the Albert Goldthorpe medal gave 3 points to Clark. I thought Darrell Clark did have a great game, great try there from Williams. 2 for Partington. We both said one for Partington. Sorry, 3 for Clark, 2 for Williams, 1 for Partington. Man of Steel, 3 for Williams, 2 for Dupree, and 1 for Partington.
I think Darrell Clark's been playing at loose forward a lot this season as well.
Very versatile. But he's running with the ball again. He's running with the ball. He's finding the move. He's finding the space. He's getting the offloads in. Yeah. But a good offload that from Matautia. You've been very critical of Matautia over his time at Warrington. Not having a bad season at the minute. Not having a bad season.
Yeah, I'm that Warrington fan there sums it up when he sees him going to the screen. It's like, oh, come on. But
yeah, but he went to the
high tackle.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I was critical of Matautia last year, and I think rightly so. His defence was poor, but they were playing behind a defeated pack last season. The difference this season is they've got a massive pack, and the backs have been given the freedom to play. So maybe this season he'll show what he's got. He's also said that this could very well be his last season. Yeah, he has said that. But
he also said he is enjoying his rugby league. So we'll have to see on that score.
Still a fire's on his way. Who knows?
But it is an interesting one. John Wilkinson. He's saying that would we take Gildart as a replacement for Matautia if he did go at the end of the season?
I don't know.
I'm not so sure on that.
I'm not sold on Gildart. I really am. I was surprised when I heard that he was going to the NRL, and
he didn't make the squad this week, did he?
No, it's a tough gig in the NRL, but I don't know about all it. I don't know. Maybe people see things in him that I can't see. I don't know. I'd rather have Tim Lafai. That's for sure.
John Costello says it's a different Warrington this year. Team on the same page as Powell, playing some great rugby. Powell said it in his post-match press conference. I had to put one of my own supporters in the place on Friday night as well. Warrington, all these comparisons to last year, that team didn't want to play for Dal Powell. This is Dal Powell's team. In the first 3 games, we've seen them dominate. We've seen them in a real arm wrestle with Huddersfield, and we've seen them come from a 20 points to 6 deficit at half-time against a very good Salford team who were on fire in the first half.
Who always seem to pull it out the bag at the Halliwell Jones.
Now, I'm not saying it's our year, but what I am saying is let's give credit where credit is due. At this moment in time, Warrington are playing well. But that's not to say nothing's won in February. I say that all the time. We're now in March. But yeah, well done to Warrington. A good performance. And not a bad crowd as well, considering it was a Thursday night.
9,000.
Just over 9,000.
And Salford brought quite a few, which was good to see.
And very loud. Everybody keeps saying this about Salford. They're bringing good crowds. So well done to Salford. Fantastic. Right, we now move on to the next game. And the next game just happens to be Wigan, I think. Yes, Castleford against Wigan. Obviously, Radford now gone. It was an arm wrestle. Up to half time. But it just a good tackle there from Field.
Great defence.
Save a try. Yeah. Field probably had his best game of the season at Castleford, I thought.
Yes.
By the looks of it.
It's taken him a long time to get into the swing of things. That was understandable after the praise he got last season.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, played well. Harry Smith as well. Another composed performance from Smith at scrum half. He's having a good start to his campaign. But at the moment, all the headlines have to be Liam Marshall. 4 tries last week against Wakefield, another 3 here against Cast. Marshall's on fire, isn't he?
Yeah. Was it Jake Bibby that was doing the same last year? When he was was it last year or the season before when Jake Bibby
season before?
Was it season before?
Yeah, season before.
He was absolutely streets ahead, Jake Bibby, and then he faded.
Yeah, but I don't think Marshall will. He had a great season last year.
I mean, his legs are a blur. He's generally like Roadrunner.
Mate, frightening. Absolutely. Just frightening.
Give him the yard of space, he's gone.
Yeah. That was a nice kick back on the inside. From French.
Off the ball there, I think.
Yeah. I think Whittup will be disappointed with that, and rightly so. Read the column that Gareth Whittup did in Rugby League World as well, which was an interesting read. Clearly, again, talking about the dressing room last year. I don't know. I just don't know if he's got it in the tank anymore with it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if he struggled,
You know, I thought
Warrington
Widdop.
last year.
I thought Widdop and
Watch this, mate.
I know.
Goodbye.
I've just paused. Look at his legs.
Look at that, mate. It's Friday. But it's not this, it's his third. He's third. Who's 12 for Castleford? Help me out. Who's number 12 for Cass? I'm trying to think who 12 is. Help me. Where's Andy and Sue when I need you?
Is it Griffin?
No, I don't know if it is Griffin. Let's have a quick look whilst we're looking. Whilst I'm thinking on, got it here. But whoever number 12 is, it's like he's running in treacle because it's just absolutely lightning fast. Number 12 is Alex Mellor.
Mellor's no slouch.
Mellor's no slouch, but he's hat-trick try. It's like he's running through treacle. Toby King won't score an easier try this season.
No, fair play.
No.
That's his first season, isn't it?
Yeah. But this last try from Marshall, I think it's the next one, I think. Oh no, it's the one after this. My apologies. It's like I say, it's frightening. This is Fields trying. Lovely. I mean, again, there, Smith. You know, Harry Smith's competent, very, very good player. Really
look at those mullets, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, nothing Beavis and Butthead. But watch this now. Look at Mellor there, 12. It's like he's running in treacle. Watch.
Yeah.
It's just like water. I mean, I have to say, it's the dive of the round, though. I mean, it was like, I'm not going to get there, but I've got to make it look convincing. So I'll just do a last-minute lunge at him. But no, Wigan, after what was a disappointing start for the Pies. Against,
I noticed last week, Sky Sports had Wigan 4 points from 2 games when it was only 2 points from 2 games.
Yeah, well, they're getting excited, bless them.
Yeah, bless the cotton socks. But a good win. It's my fault. I tipped Castleford to do well this season with the halfback combination. I am the kiss of death.
I think Castleford. I think at the moment it's not looking good. That said, it's a long season. We're only 3 rounds in, but no coach. Clearly not. They're just not clicking.
Justin Morgan is somebody who could turn that round.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat your thoughts on Castleford, ladies and gentlemen. As for the Albert Goldthorpe, 3 points for Marshall, 2 for Havard and 1 for Harry Smith. For the Man of Steel, Marshall getting 3, Field getting 2, and Smith getting 1 as well. So Harry Smith in both, as was Marshall. Just Havard and Field getting 2 in each of those polls. But yeah, Wigan 2 from 2. And starting to get their groove together. We now go to the south of France for the Catalan Dragons. We had this as our game of the week, and actually it probably disappointed in the fact that it wasn't that competitive. Well, Catalan, I mean, I think Iburn's 9th at the start of the season, and they've come from nowhere. I mean, Kieran has been outstanding. Takiaho on debut played very, very well. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, Catalan. I did not see Catalan 3 from 3. I don't think anybody did when you considered who they were going to be playing. But they were
they've
superb.
been very fortunate. They've had 2 home games where the weather is considerably better than it is over here.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, they had that tricky one at Wakey with a pitch where it was in really poor condition. Johnson again. I mean, we're delighted for Johnson, aren't we? We're delighted for Johnson. Great player.
Let's just hope that he can stay injury-free.
Yeah,
please, stay injury-free.
Look, I mean, he's trying.
Let's see what he can do.
Well, at the moment, he's doing a lot, mate. 5 tries in 3 games, playing some superb rugby. Nice line, that. Lovely line.
That's a big fend, that is.
Yeah. Get out the way is, I think, what they say to that one. A lovely finish. And like I say, just good, good support play. There's Tyrone May back from injury, of course, into Gudemore. We like a bit of Gudemore. Yeah.
We like Gudemore here.
We do indeed. But it was a good try. Garcia was at it, absolutely at it.
Garcia seems the first few games back to his best, Garcia, from what I've seen. He had a bit of a hit this season.
First try for the club.
Yeah. Garcia was a bit hit and miss last season. I think he had a couple of injuries as well.
Yeah,
we thought, because they've lost a lot of players, a lot of big players, but they've hit the ground running this year.
Well, I think Steve and Tracy will be very disappointed. I mean, Steve's already gone in the chat saying they were absolutely shocking. Tony Smith, really disappointed in the defence. Not naming names, but pretty much saying that, some of his players did not turn up for each other in defence, and that conversations and things were going to have to be done.
That's a soft try. That's
Yeah,
a really soft try.
It's going to be interesting to see what side he puts out against Salford, because it might tell us who he was disappointed with on the night. But 38 points to 6, the way Hull have been playing, sensational victory for Catalan. For the Albert Goldthorpe and Man of Steel, both giving Adam Kieran the full 3 points. Garcia also getting 2 on both polls. The only difference in the medal tables was Albert Goldthorpe giving Mickey McAlorm a point, and Tahiaho getting the 1 point in the Man of Steel. So a very good debut and off and running in Man of Steel. So yeah, Catalan, didn't see it, man.
The only thing in Hull's when did Hull play last weekend? Was it Sunday?
I think they did, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh no, it was Friday. I'm sure it was Friday.
I can't remember.
Who was it last week? It was Wakey last week, wasn't it? No, it was Catalan. Who did Hull play last week?
I think.
Oh, I'll tell you now.
Was it on TV?
Yeah, so it was.
It's either Thursday or Friday, wasn't it?
Salford. Was it Salford? Salford, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh, dear, yeah. God, I'll tell you what, I'm racking my brain. No, that's Salford. Oh, there we KR.
I think.
I know. Do you know what? That is complete. Oh, it was Leeds. It was Leeds.
It was.
Leeds.
They won.
It was Leeds.
Yeah, so I was thinking, could it have been a short turnaround? And it's not really. It wasn't really a short turnaround.
No, I think, it catches a lot of teams out, and this is why the Leigh performance in Catalan last week was so impressive, because, they really run them tight. But yeah, well done to Catalan. They keep going. Credit where credit is due. Right, we now go to probably the shock result of the round, bar none. Leigh Leopards travelling to Hull KR. Hull KR.
What a game.
Playing some great game. Great game, nip and tuck. I mean, a great first try. I mean, this offload is a thing of absolute beauty. Look at this. Yeah. Whoa, have a bit of that. Brilliant. It's beautiful. Shorrocks on debut and Hardacre there. Won't be very happy with that, but really, really well taken try by Sean Kenny-Dow.
Yeah, and they're going to miss him this week, especially against Warrington.
Yeah.
He's a big miss.
Absolutely.
Sure, we'll talk about that later on, but he's
big captain, miss. Isn't he? He's the captain. Tom Amone going in for his first try of the camp. And look at that. Just buried its way under. It was like seeing, what was it called? What was it? Faisal on Watership Down. It's incredible. Absolutely. That's the one. Watership Down. Burrowing in, as you say. Fantastic stuff. No, just popped in there. Mikey Lewis.
That's my Wile E. Coyote.
I know. Mickey Lewis there, doing what Mickey Lewis does.
That's what he does best. Nice. Great player.
Solo try. He's a good player. Lachlan Lamb, mate. I was impressed in pre-season when they came to. I've not seen him that much. I'm really impressed with Lachlan Lamb. Really impressed with him.
Yeah, he's doing his stock a hell of a lot of good. He could be the player that very well keeps Leigh up this season.
Well, Steve Wilson's back in. He said, by all accounts, Hull travelled on the same day as the game. So yeah, that's not good. You've got to go.
Warrington have fallen foul of that a few times, flying in and out on the day, and it very seldom works.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
I know it's all probably money saving or whatever, but that's a good offload.
Yeah, lovely offload again. That's luckily, isn't it? Luckily again.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah. And James Batchelor, again, you're talking about Wakefield, mate. What a pickup he's been for Hull KR. He's having a great start to the season.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether all these people leaving Wakefield knew what was going to happen. Maybe.
It certainly hasn't helped, has it?
No.
Yeah, and Steve there finding solace in in this result. But here's Charlie now. It must have been close. I mean, you look at the dagger there. He's convinced that went out, but the try he's given, it's in the record books. Charlie, it looks like he's lost some weight to me, and he's having a great.
There's a few ex-Warrington players on this Leigh side that look like they've shed a few pounds.
Yeah.
That's a dummy. He could sell dummies to Mothercare, that fella. That one.
And they went out of business, mate.
That's why he wasn't working for him.
Outstanding. And Mr. Briscoe, I mean, seems to have been around forever, Tom Briscoe. But also
it must
going
be
in for a
65
brace.
now, Tom Briscoe.
Gotta be, mate. Gotta be. But here it is. That's a lovely ball, that. It's a lovely ball, that.
It's a great try. Look at this now.
Yeah. It's a beauty.
Slightly dubious pass.
Mate, it's beautiful.
But,
Absolutely beautiful. You know what? Delighted for Derek Beaumont. Delighted for Leigh. We also posted on our Facebook page today, the Leopard in the town centre, still trying to drum up, more supporters. Really pleased for Leigh. Keep doing what you're doing. Fantastic. In terms of where the points went in this one, well, Lamb got 3 Albert Goldthorpe points, Abdul 2, Charlie 1. Lamb didn't even feature in Man of Steel points. I just don't get that at all. Abdul picking up 3, Charlie 2, and Kane Lynette picking up the 1. And I think there's doubts over Kane Lynette.
Kane Lynette's out on Friday.
Yeah, there's doubts over Lynette this weekend as well. But well done to Leigh, off and running. Of course, they take on the Saints this weekend. We'll be reviewing
that does land Wakefield in a whole lot of trouble, that win.
Yeah, I think so. It puts early pressure on them, doesn't it? And if Sky's got anything about them, they've already lined that game up for being live on Sky. When is that game? When is the first game? I'll tell you now. Leigh Leopards, Wakey host the Leigh Leopards on April the 16th. That's the first game, and the repeat game at Leigh on June 4th. Will be on Sky. Those 2 critical games. Critical games.
4 pointers. 4 pointers, both of them.
Massive games, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right, we now go to what was, I think a war of attrition, without question. Nobody expected this to be as tight as it was. Credit to Wakefield, tightened up defensively, clearly, from the Wigan perspective. But I think when you look at the Man of Steel points, all of them going to forwards. Albert Gold for the Man of Steel. Greenwood got 3, Whitbread 2. Whitbread 2, McQueen 1. And the Albert Goldthorpe, Greenwood getting 3 points, Yates getting 2, and Josh Jones getting 1. So
I thought Chris Hill got some points. I must have misread that.
No, forwards across the board. Yeah. I mean, by all accounts, it wasn't the most attractive game of rugby league. It was a proper arm wrestle, without question. But I'll tell you what, the try. Let's just pay a little bit of a tribute to another player who's had a phenomenal baptism in Super League, Essen Masters of Huddersfield Giants. We spoke about him last week in terms of meters made. In a moment, we're going to see the Huddersfield try. The offload in the build-up to that try is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, he had a decent World Cup.
Yeah,
he did himself a lot of favours in the World Cup. I think Wakefield tightened up. I think Huddersfield only their second game. Remember, I think they were in a real battle with Warrington last week.
Yeah,
that is going to something like that is going to take gas out of the tank. I think that's why probably Warrington.
Yeah, I think
right. First half.
Lola Hoy looks like
that Huddersfield game. Warrington Huddersfield game was brutal last Friday.
Oh, it was. Saying about Lola Hoy looks like he's carrying a bit of weight. Which
maybe deliberately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just looks as if he's packing a bit of weight. I mean, Joel will probably tell us a bit about that. But Joel is saying, he is saying he's a bit bigger, but he's raving over Masters here. Alex Sharp, should every game have a video referee? Absolutely, because they'll be televised, be even better. But watch this offload now. This is a thing of beauty. Watch this in a minute. Boom. Loving it. Love that. Absolutely loving that. And well done to, this is nice rugby. Really nice. Oh, actually, it's not even this one. Sorry. So that's 2 offloads that Masters does that are particularly close. Nice.
But going back to that point, yes, every game should have a video referee.
I agree.
100%. Every single game.
Yeah. Joe said that Lola Hoy's been on too many holidays. But this I think is the try coming up now, isn't it? I think this is the try that's coming up now. Watch Masters offload here. It's an absolute thing of beauty. And actually, even when it comes back the other way, some lovely, really nice from Nathan Pitt. Look at this now. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And this is nice. That's lovely. And Greenwood just spotting the gap. And, credit to Joe Greenwood there. Nice.
Well, like you said about the Sneed try, poor defence, but Joe Greenwood's a big fella.
He is a big fella. You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to see him on a dark night. That's for
certain. If he ran at me, I'd retire on the spot.
Absolutely. But yeah, all that matters to Huddersfield fans at this stage of the season is probably not necessarily the performance, but the result. Getting that 2 points, getting underway, and of course they'll be welcoming Salford, isn't it? Oh no, Castleford. Sorry, Castleford this weekend. But yeah, very very good indeed. Well done to them. They're off and running, and then we come, of course, to The big one, St Helens against Leeds. What a game this was! Real good match.
It was actually quite a dull game until the last 10 minutes.
I thought it was a good game, mate. I really enjoyed this game.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a classic until. Well, we all know what happened.
I think you're being harsh. I thought it was for this
I'm
time of the season,
mate. Where every week's a classic.
For this time of the season, I think it was a really, really good game. You know, there were questions over the, Nelly McDonald. You know, was he going to be a suitable replacement for the likes of Liam Sutcliffe? Early indications are very nice, very good indeed.
This was a first yellow.
Yeah. That's out. Yeah, going to be.
Got a game ban
two
for
games. Two, wasn't it? I think he was 2-7 and was 1. I think.
Oh, that's right. 2-1 and 2-1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Hurrell gets 2 games with a direct contact to the head, even though, as you said before, that there was some ducking into the tackle, but it's split second stuff. It really is. It is
split second stuff, and I think that the fact that 2 incidents happened in the same game, I just think for me personally, and I think it did. I think it went against them that there was a couple of infringements after the ball had gone. This is a great try.
McDonald here was superb.
Great pace.
We'll see things like that happen week in, week out, and nothing's done.
And when you can turn Lomax inside out like that.
Well, Lomax knew he'd been done, didn't he? But going back to the late tackle, you'll see that happen week in, week out, and nothing will be done about it. And it's the consistency that it's all we want, the consistency.
It is. Pleased for Joey Lussick, the future of St Helens at number 9. Shades there of Roby, I'd have to say. Shades of Roby.
Nice try. Well, he's learning off the best, isn't he? Let's face it.
Yeah, very nicely taken. Very, very nicely taken.
So John Wilkins says anyway. He's learning off the best.
Well, it's hard to disagree, isn't it? It's hard to disagree. He's the Ryan Giggs of St Helens, isn't he? That's who he is in terms of his longevity and trophies that he's won, etc. Lewis Dodd, great to have Dodd back. I mean, bodes well for England.
Well, this was a silly try.
It was, but Dodd, great to have him back. Good for England. Dodd is back. He's a player, isn't he?
He just reminds me of Tommy Martin. The way he plays, he looks like him a little bit, but the way he plays, he reminds me of Tommy Martin.
Both, good try this from Martin. I think both of Reece Martin's tries, he took them well. He took them very well. He's very, very good with the boot, we know. But that's combat all around his legs, and obviously tackle not complete, but absolutely
and does well to keep control of the ball as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hitting the floor like that could have sprung out of his grasp.
Could have easily come out of his grasp, but of course at this point, St Helens are the flying. It looked for all the world that Saints were going to go and post.
Look at that. Look at it. Why that's not an 8-point? If those tries were 8-point tries on Thursday, that's an 8-point try.
Yeah. Well, we said at the start, didn't we? We said at the start.
Look at that. Look at
yeah, that's not good.
Look at that.
To be fair,
that not be 8 points.
I think though, to be fair to the referee, he might be blindsided there, but when it goes up to the video referee, has he got to send it up? Does he ask? Is it an 8?
I think he did. I think he did ask. Was it an 8-point try?
Yeah,
but not for that. For the tackle off the ball, I think.
Yeah. Well, here's another one off the ball. This was the Suriname one.
That I can see why that one was given.
Yeah. So Suriname getting a sit down, which again, you talk about the jet lag piece. Did it kick in this week? Of course, having to play 20 minutes without 2 players. Lovely offload that. Cameron Smith having a brilliant start to the season for Leeds.
I thought he deserved a point at least.
Yeah, he's in it and he's doing well. He's doing very, really, really well. Yeah. McDonald again there, fully involved once more. Alfertz, I think, is a good signing for him. I really do. I like Darrell Alfertz. Good offload. Look at that again. Keeping the ball alive, and Saints. Just like I say, just a bit leggy at this point. Martin again. Look at that from Martin.
And then it just a simple put down.
Superb, mate. Superb.
The game's over as far as I was concerned. Here, the game was over, and then that try goes in, and it's you could just see it unfolding.
You could.
Is Myler play acting a little bit? I wouldn't like.
Well, the thing again. And again, what makes me giggle is so Super League put out highlights of the game, and they don't want to put the Walters one on there. But they put this one on there.
Walters
it's
is
a
a shoulder
shoulder.
charge
It's a
all
shoulder.
day long.
It's a shoulder, but Walters was as well.
Yeah.
And I think that, the fact that then the disciplinary committee actually fine him for a shoulder charge, it just makes it laughable. But credit to Leeds. I mean, let's not forget, Leeds have been pretty poor in the first 2 rounds. Obviously, they've got Wakey this week, which again, I always say Wakey's got a good record anyway. But yeah, I mean, they've got to back it up now. I mean, but yeah, well done. Nobody, I think, other than yourself and Bill last week went that way. And
I just had a feeling that they were on a high last week against Castleford. Castleford haven't been brilliant. I just had a feeling that Leeds were going to, not quite as controversially as they did. I just had a feeling that the jet lag, the adrenaline would be gone. The leg, they'd probably get a bit heavy in the second half. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I just had a feeling that Leeds might turn them over.
Well, Alex Sharp's more in the know than we are around all affairs Leeds. He's saying in the chat here only 259 fans travelled to the Totally Wicked Stadium on Friday, and he's very disappointed by that. And
yeah, well, Jenna Brooks was about to say something about the number of Leeds fans.
Yeah,
and then something happened in the commentary or the game, and she never explained what it was.
Well, if that's true, Alex, I agree with you. Not good. Joel, perfect start for Leeds. Lost first few and now started winning and go and get to the grand final. Not so sure about that one this year, Joel.
They don't usually start winning till July. They get to a grand final.
Steve Wilson mentioning something that you said before we come on air. Should Wellesby have had something for charging?
Yes, I think he should. I think Wellesby was extremely lucky that he didn't get a yellow card.
Wellesby's just got to keep his rugby doing the talking. He don't want to turn into Sam Tompkins and try and referee every game.
He's getting a little bit chatty with the refs. He was very, very. I agree. He was very, very lucky not to see a yellow card.
Absolutely right.
It's a shoulder charge. The referee was 100% wrong. That 100%. Is a shoulder charge, but Wellesby was very, very lucky.
Right.
Okay.
Just opening your tinny, sir. Just opening your tinny. There it is. There's the league table. I'm fully enjoying myself. It's a Tuesday night. We're having great fun.
You fell off your chair.
No, good Lord, no. There's the league table. Stop the season now. As
yes,
I say every
please.
Week. Please stop it now. Warrington and the Catalan Dragons with a perfect 3 from 3. Then it's the Warriors with a very healthy 87 points in the plus column there. Then the Robins, of course. Then Hull FC. And it's 26 in 5th. Interesting.
That's weird, isn't it?
And then the Giants in the middle, and of course at the bottom, look at those deficits. Trinity 82, Tigers 56. That's not good at this point in the campaign. Right, before we get and take a look at round number 4, let's should we take a look at Team of the Week, sir? Should we take a look at Team of the Week?
I think we must.
Let's have a look at Team of the Week, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your Team of the Week. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 3. Here we go again. And at fullback, it will be Jay Field of the Wigan Warriors. A second half of class and control. Keeps out Matt Duffy this week. He was at the heart of the Wigan attack, and the Tigers simply had no answer. Welcome back, Mr. Field. Brilliant. At number 2 and on the wing will be, hear the Leigh Leopards sing. John Leigh. 2 exceptional tries. Tight in the corner. Broke the Robins' heart. He even turned their breast grey. Josh looks lean. He looks sharp in 2023. Impressive. At number 3, it will be Adam Kieran. The Aussie is making his mark in Super League, and this is his second appearance of the season. McNamara's poached an exceptional player who on this form could appear in the Dream Team at the end of the season. Bonza! At number 4, we have gone for Mr. Ash Hanley. Many have gone for Nene McDonald, but we feel Mr. Hanley's all-round game against the Saints picked his teammate. Stunning work epic throughout, and what an in and out to wrong step, Mr. Lomax. Glorious! At number 5, it will be Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors, followed up on his 4 against Wakefield with a hat-trick against the Tigers. French and Field continues to be the focus, but ignore the league's leading try-scorer at your peril. Sensational! At number 6, he's back. It's George Williams of the Warrington Wolves. A little cover here for Curry. A chip over over the top there for Fewlis. A long pass for Ashton, and what a try! George Williams, quality! At number 7, it will be Lachlan Lamb, the Leeds Leopards. It's very hard, isn't it, not to be impressed by Lamb's start to his Super League career. He continues to get stronger, and in this game, his desire for the ball and execution was vital in getting the Leopards their first win. Superb, sir! Superb! At number 8 in it, prop forward, it will be Siasua Takiako. Oh, what a debut! Absolutely excellent. 23 solid, hard runs, laid the platform for a stellar Dragons performance. A very nice try too. We look forward to seeing more. Imposing! At number 9, it's fair to say that Darryl Clark, like Williams, is a different player in 2023 behind a strong pack. Darryl made some clever runs throughout the game as well as offloads to keep the Red Devils on the back foot. Magnificent. At number 10, well, at 6-0 down, Leigh needed a shot of confidence, and it was provided by Tom Amone. The big man was in fine form and a great forwards try too. A handful throughout his minutes on the pitch. Mr. Amone has guile, guts and ability. Enforcing. How Wakey must be watching with envy. Our number 11 is, of course, Mr. James Batchelor. What a start to 2023. Second appearance already this season. Great with ball in hand, strong in defence. The Robins are chirping loud over this man's consistency. And number 12, how pivotal is Reece Martin to the Leeds Rhinos. And he showed against Saints he's not only a great goal kicker, but a solid and dependable second row. Both tries took some scoring, and by God did he deliver. Reliability. And at number 13, well, it's taken 3 weeks to replace James Hamilton at loose forward, but Garcia did it at the weekend. A total professional who, climbing influence and skill, galvanises the team around him. Great to see. Magnifique! This is your team of the week for round number 3. So there you go, the team of the week for round number 3.
I thought you'd left me then, Dave.
No, not at all. Yes, there you go, Reggie. What a squad that would be.
That's a team. That's a team.
It was a team. A couple of players that, unfortunate in their Duffy, probably at Warrington. Maybe Abdul at OKR season. Maybe.
I think Partington went off at half.
Partington went off at half time. Yeah,
I think he was probably the outstanding player of that first half. Cameron Smith for Leeds had a great game, I thought.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of players in there. We spoke about Lamb. I think Kieran's been outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
I think he's featured in the Man of Steel points, has he, or the Albert Gold?
Yeah, and you know, he played in the Arts, didn't he, in week 1? Now he's back into his preferred centres. Clearly good with a boot. Got him, banged himself a few tries. Don't know, just one to watch that. I think, you know, if he carries on that form, you know, McNamara, fair play to him, and you know, Takiaho. First game, you know, on debut, outstanding.
Good to see him up against Paul Vaughan at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, and the likes of Wormsley, you know, he's going to have, and
as I say, Darryl Clark, played at loose forward for a lot of the last 2 games.
He did, and you know, Clark, Williams, you know, these are running players, and they need a pack, and Warrington have got a pack this year. And
I think Williams and Clark have run more in the first 3 games this year than they did all last season.
Completely agree. But again, you know, we're fair at Super League Raw. You know, yes, you all know we're Warrington fans, but you know, there you go. 2 Wigan players, 3 Leigh Leopards players, 2 Catalan, 1 Hull KR, 2 Leeds, 2 Wigan. So yeah, and 3 Catalan. So yeah, Catalan.
Usually not to have a Saints player in there. You know, Dodd could may well have. Got in there.
He did, but I think, you know, stand by Lamb. I think, you know, 20 odd touches of the ball. I mean, the bits I've seen, and you know what I've heard League fans say, he was all over that game.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, you know, on any other day, Dodd might have.
Yeah, Dodd. Harry Smith had a good game for Wigan, you know, but you know, we try and spread the love, and you know, we try and look at, well, you know, who was absolutely essential. And like I said about Tom Amone, you know, at 6-0 down, Leigh have lost the first 2 games. They need something, and you know, Amone come up there with a big try to get them back to 6-all, and that possibly instilled belief that they could go on and really pack a punch in that game.
3 Leigh players in there, you know, that's pretty good showing for Leigh.
Yeah, superb. Congratulations to Leigh. Fully deserved those 3 places. Right, let's take a look at the prediction league. Here it comes. Oh, mood music. We love it. There you go. So as you can see, I've jumped a place. I've overtook the fans forum just about now on 31 points. Greg, You were top point scorer of the week with 13 last week, so congratulations, sir. I got 11. Sir. Bad week for the fans forum, just the 6 points last week, and Gary Schofield getting 9. So that's how the our table looks.
If Stefan Ratchford hadn't missed that kick, me and you would have been level.
Well, it's all ifs and buts, sir.
It is.
All ifs and buts.
It is. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Come on, mate.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. There's a song there somewhere. But anyway, let's get straight into the predictions and looking ahead to round number 4. And, well, here we go. We start off with our game of the week. Here it comes. This week's game of the week, well, it had to be Wigan taking on the Catalan Dragons. Catalan 3 from 3, Wigan now 2 from 2. Two very, two teams currently in form. Wigan with the 2 from 2. We announced on our Facebook page earlier today, Catalan, though, will be missing quite a few key personnel. No Da Costa, no Tompkins, no Pearce, no Whiteley, no Cesar Rouge. So they are going to miss some key personnel. As for Wigan, no real change from last week, just those long-term injuries for them to worry about, because Mago was back last week, wasn't he, and continues to be back this week. Great game. Again, I said earlier on when we looked at the Catalan Hull game, I wasn't expecting this from Catalan, and for that reason, I find it very hard to dismiss them in terms of going to Wigan and putting on a performance. Do I think they'll beat Wigan? That's probably not, but it's a tough one. Joel going 18 plus for Wigan. John Costello saying 38-16 to Wigan. I think the consensus of opinion would be Wigan, but this should be a fascinating game.
It should be, and I wish Catalan had got the full team out.
Yeah.
Because I think it will be a test for Wigan. I think Wigan. I think the injuries will catch up with Catalan, and I think Wigan will win, and I think they'll win by 18 plus.
Right, so you're going 18s.
Yeah,
the fans
so that's probably a Catalan win by 1-8, but I'm going. I'm going Wigan.
I think Wigan in fine scoring form. We've seen that. Gary
Schofield. Marshall. He's just his legs are a blur.
Mate,
he's that fast.
He's outstanding, mate. He's having a great campaign. The fans forum agree with you. They're going Wigan 18 plus. I'm agreeing with Mr. Schofield this week. I'm going 9-17 Wigan. I think I'm going to show Catalan a degree of respect in the fact that
it's not a lack of respect, mate. If they had their full team out, I'd say it would be a lot closer. It's not. They
haven't had. They've been patchy in terms of who they've been able to put on the field all season.
I just think this is probably a game where they needed everybody fit, everybody firing. They've not, and I think Wigan have finally hit the straps. Last weekend has filled them full of confidence. Having said that, Catalan will probably come there and win by 30 clear points, but I can't see it.
No, I can't. I think Wigan are now starting to get into the groove a little bit, and but fully looking forward to that. It should be great on Sky Sports, of course. Make sure you tune in for that one. We then go to Friday, and the Leigh Leopards welcome St Helens. This is going to be an interesting game, mate. Just going to disappear for a second. This is going to be an interesting game.
If ever Leigh didn't want to play St Helens, it's this week.
Well, you say that, but if you remember after the Castleford game, Wellens said that he was going to give his team the week off after the Leeds game. Now, has the Leeds result changed his mind on that?
Changed his mind.
possibly. However, it is a long season. And, one thing about Saints is they do look after the players. It could be that they do make some key changes, and that could be a bit of a leveller. And what we know about Leigh, completely different squad, but I remember when they were here 2 years ago, they always come up good against Leeds and Wigan. They didn't give them an easy ride. We saw what they did over in Perpignan. I think it's an interesting one, this. And at this moment in time, we're not 100% certain what's going on. But, in terms of Saints, Batchelor out still, Sirinen banned, Hull banned, Matautia banned, James Roby unlikely to feature, Will Party still out, Parsi still out. So, they're 1 to 17 players. It's not like those would be on the periphery. Every one of them, if they're fully fit, Batchelor's at loose forward, as is second row, as is Sirinen, Hull's in the centres. Matauti is probably the only one there that might not get in the 17. Roby would be in the 17. A Party probably... possibly on the bench.
Parsi on the bench.
Possibly, and Parsi on the bench. So
for big Alex Walmsley.
So they are players that, without question, they would be in the 1 to 17. So if we know that they're out, then it's this conundrum: will Wellens rest other players? It's an interesting one.
I think if they'd have won on Friday, if they'd have beat Leeds, and they didn't have those 3 players banned, I think they would have rested more. Do Saints generally lose 2 on the bounce? Not
often.
Not often.
But then they don't play the World Club Challenge in Australia all that often.
No, you're right. I just can't see Saints, no matter what team they put out. I can't see them losing this. I don't think it'll be a whitewash. I'm going 9 to 17 Saints. Even if he does rest more players, I think they've probably still got a little bit more than Leigh.
Yeah, I'm going with you.
It's a tough one.
I'm going with you because, like I say, I just get this sneaky suspicion Wellens won't rest. I
think the enforced rest will change his mind, and he'll say, right, well, few players are sitting this out because of disciplinary, therefore I'm not making any further changes.
Yeah, maybe.
Unfortunately,
the forum are in agreement. They're saying Saints 9 to 17. Gary Schofield saying Saints 9 to 17. Kobe McGilvery, he actually sees Saints by 18 plus, as does Joel and John Costello. So actually live tonight in the chat, a couple of the guys saying that no, actually it might be an 18 pluser. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I think that, and again, we'll learn more about during this game as well. So. It's going to be an interesting game, that one. We'll see how it definitely
is. It's going to be a good game.
It is. Then we come to this one. Leeds taking on the Wakefield Trinity. Both teams without key personnel. Harry Newman still out. Aledzki still out. Max Simpson, ACL as we know. Cruz Lehman unlikely to play. James Bentley unlikely to be back. And of course, the list that Tang Noah, Murphy, Jowett, and Lynn for Wakey. Obviously, that's going to have a bigger bite for Wakey than it does Leeds. Will they sign some people between now? Will they get a couple of people in on loan? Question. That will give Leeds a lot of confidence. But it's getting up for St Helens shouldn't be a challenge. Leeds have now got to get up for Wakey, and complacency.
That's always
the danger. The danger.
Yeah, in any game, we saw when Warrington beat Saints at Wembley in the Challenge Cup final. They won 1 game out of the last 9 because they got themselves so up for that game.
Yeah,
they just couldn't reproduce it. And you're right. We see it so often where that horror show on Sunday afternoon. Are Liverpool going to produce that same performance this weekend? Probably not. In any sport, raise yourself for those games.
You're right, mate. And like I say, Wakey have got a decent record anyway. Alex Sharp, he's saying that Newman, Aledzki, and Bentley, he expects them to be back. I've not heard that, but he's closer to it than me. So I'll go with you, Alex. I'll go with you. That would certainly swing a lot of momentum Leeds' way, albeit those 3 players yet to feature this season, coming back from injury. Will they be 100% in terms of match ready?
May well start on the bench, a couple of them.
Exactly. So even though they're back, are they fully match sharp, etc., etc. Fans Forum and Gary Schofield going 18+. I'm going 9-17. Dogged against Huddersfield in terms of defence. This bit about Leeds going again against Wakefield. Wakey's record at Headingley is decent. So I'm just going to rain
won
it.
a few times in the last few
They
seasons.
have, mate. They have. I'm just going to rein it in a bit. I do think Leeds will win. I'm going to rein it in and say 9-17. Wakey could get absolutely smashed. But equally, I thought, and I'd be interested to get Joel's take on it. They clearly had a bit of steel about them against Huddersfield.
I think it quite possibly could be a close first half, quite tight. I'm going to go Leeds 18+ on this one. Oh,
I'm going to stay with you.
Nurse,
steady on. Oh dear me.
All right.
So just me on that one then. Yeah, defence was great. Joel said there that Wakey's defence was great. So
yeah. I think it'll be a tight first half, but I can see Leeds running away with it second half.
Yeah, well,
are you all right now?
I'm all right. We're all going Leeds. We're all going Leeds on that one. Right. We then go to another cracker, very close to being game of the round as well. But yeah, I've gone the Wigan game. But yeah, Warrington, of course, travelling to Hull KR. Sean Kenny Dowell, of course, banned. Lachlan Coote, Kane Lynette, possibly still not playing for Hull KR. As for Warrington, a little bit of a doubt over James Harrison with his knee. I think he'll play, if I'm being honest, but there's a bit of a doubt there. And of course, just the long-term casualties, none of them are expected to be coming back in this one. The likes of Philbin, etc. Probably another couple of rounds away where that's concerned.
I think Maguire, I think Philbin is 2 or 3 weeks away, isn't he, to full contact training. So
yeah, he mentioned one being back for Leigh, didn't he? He said Leigh, didn't he, that he might be back for Leigh. So
yeah, I think Philbin possibly April time, just to give him a bit of contact training.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Right, Fans Forum going Warrington 9-17. Yeah, the John Costello would agree with that. Joel is going 9-17. Alex Sharp saying that Warrington will be 18+ on this one. Gary Schofield's only gone 1-8 for Warrington. He sees this as a tight game.
Yeah.
Where do you see it, mate?
This Warrington have a habit of slipping up at Hull KR unless it's a cup game. It's a horrible, horrible place to go as an away team. The Hull KR fans are brilliant.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
wind, if the weather's going to be like it is, that cold, wind that whips in off the river is absolutely bone chilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an inhospitable place to go.
Good word, sir. Good word.
It was. I don't know what it means, but it's a great word.
It's a great word.
I'm going Warrington 9-17, but I think it'll be very, very close first half. And I would not be surprised. I'm only going for that because Hull KR have got some key players missing. I think if they had a full squad, I think they might just squeak it. And I still wouldn't be surprised if Hull KR do actually win that one. But I'm going Warrington 9-17. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got the same. 9-17 wire. That's the way I see it as well. Right. We then move on to the game on Sky. Fascinating game. This really looking forward to watching this one as well. Just to see the Giants, a bit more of the Giants, I have to say, especially Masters. I'm looking forward to seeing him over a full 80 minutes. Massive game for Castleford. Massive injury lists for Castleford. No Mamo, no McShane, no Ferrimo, no Niall Evans as well. All four expected not to be there for this game. Nagama is expected to be rested for another week with his groin, and is taught that perhaps Connor may be back for this one, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. If Connor will be back for this one, yes, Joel's going because of injuries. He's still going with the Giants 9-17. No surprises there. In sport, when a manager goes, there tends to be a reaction. It's just it always happens, doesn't it? Yeah. And this is either going to be a really, really the shock of the round, because it would be for me, unless Leigh beat Saints. That'd probably be even more shocking.
Hull KR beat Warrington, which is more the more likely the result.
That wouldn't be a shock, mate.
KR are a good side. The way Warrington, it would.
No, at the end of the day, on the day, KR beating Wire as a Wire fan, you know what?
Yeah,
could
we won't be
happen.
shocked, but he'd be treated as a
But
shock.
you look down this list. Wakey at Leeds, that'd be a shock.
Yeah.
Leigh at Leigh and Saints, that'd be a shock.
Yeah.
Wigan, Catalan either way, and it can go either way. This one can go either way for me. I'm not going to bet against Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield, for me, I'm going to go 9-17 Huddersfield. I don't think they'll blow them away because I do think Castleford will have a reaction. I do think Castle have a reaction, and that reaction should keep it within 3 scores. But the fans forum see it that way. Gary Schofield sees it that way. Where do you see it, mate?
I'm going 18 plus Huddersfield.
You're going for the big one. Fair
Yeah,
point.
I think there's too many injuries, too many problems. I think it's not actually a new manager. It's the coach that's been there who's taken over. So the same problems are going to be there.
Yeah, but you say that. I remember, again, how many times, how many
You're
times
right.
does the caretaker
right.
do it, mate?
I just can't see it.
I can't. I can't.
The new manager, the new coach, the new manager, the new whatever. I understand totally what you're saying, but
it'll be good to watch. It'll be good to. It'll be good to see Huddersfield.
Again, a tight first half. So I'm talking over you, mate. I think again a tight first half, but I think Huddersfield have got the firepower to run away with it.
Yeah, Joel, if we're going to be, Joel's saying if we're going to be top 4, we need better performances. It's early days. You had that delayed start.
I can see Huddersfield really running away with this one.
I think Huddersfield are going to be fine. I think Huddersfield over the course of the campaign are going to be, very, very good. They had the week off, then they come back against Warrington, who were in the groove. They then had the Wakefield game on or off, which is always difficult for preparation. This is the game. They're back in front of their own fans. It's definitely going ahead. I think this could be very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching this one, I have to say. And then finally, on pay-per-view on the Our League app, giving this a go. Yeah,
how good is this?
Yeah, I think this is great. This could be huge for the game if it becomes viable. Because we talked about video referees being at every game. Well, if games are being streamed, then there is an opportunity then for it to be video refs at every game, and to grow the sport, to get away from the Sky piece and the reliability on Sky. This is an opportunity. There's no doubt about it. We've seen the likes of Wire TV and Hull TV and Salford TV spring up. This is now one of those things where actually, if I was a part of the clubs, I'd be probably thinking, hang on a minute, do we combine with Our League, and do we actually do this on their own platforms as well as the Our League platform?
Yeah.
It's a great way of growing the game. It's a great way of growing the sport. So it'd be interesting to see what the viewing figures, let's hope they publish those, what the viewing figures for this game on the app are this time next week. But in terms of, we've got Texoy there in the graphic. He is expected to be back for this game. McNamara less so, but they do think that Texoy will be fit to play this one. Still no Tumavari, we don't think. Wooly Kipani? Wooly Kipani?
Yeah.
Wooly Kipani.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I'm going to go with that. Wooly Kipani. He's still expected not to be out. Joe Cater, just a shoulder this time. Expected to be rested, still no win. And then, of course, Salford, announced today, no Partington, which is that's a big blow. They've obviously got Reece Williams.
He's had a great start to the season.
He's had a great start to the season. Reece Williams will come back in on the edge. We know they haven't got too much strength in depth, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. There's no question about that. But again, the myth that is Hull looked on fire for the first couple of rounds, played decent rugby. Obviously, the Castleford second half capitulation was a concern. Then an absolute battering to Catalan. Salford haven't been great. I thought the first half at Warrington probably as close to 2022 Salford that we've seen.
Yeah.
Call this one if you can. I mean, what's interesting is both the fans forum and Gary Schofield have both gone 9-17 Hull in this game. I think you could toss a coin.
Genuinely, mate, this is the one game I think could go either way.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I agree.
Knowing Tony Smith, I think he will have read the riot act. And that's what's tipping it in Hull's favour for me. And I think I'm going 9-17 Hull as well.
I'm going to go Salford 1-8.
Oh.
I am. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I am. Sorry, Stephen Tracy. I'm just going to go Salford 1-8. I didn't like what I saw at Catalan. I think the Castleford game is a concern. The way that one panned out in the second half.
They beat Leeds though with a great.
They did, but with the greatest respect, at that point, yes, Leeds were good against St. Helens. I'm not disputing that, but actually, no, I think Salford, for me, could do this one. I could be wrong.
Well, you know what? You may well be right, mate. Because
I might well be right.
This is the one game.
Yeah, it could go either way.
As you say, you could toss a coin on. And what I would say is, Salford fans, come on, get up to Hull. I know it's on the Hawley gap.
Yeah, I think they will.
Get up to Hull.
I think they will, mate. It's a Saturday. Yeah. I think it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, so that's good for travelling. A lot of love for Salford in the room. Joel going Salford 1-8. Kobe McGilvey sees Salford by 24. That's bold. That's incredibly bold.
Yeah.
Actually, then he changed his mind and said 26, so he's going even bigger. Very bold.
Must be a last-minute penalty.
And John Costello going Salford by 10 in the chat. So that's where we say, wow. I mean, there you go. We will find out same time, same place next week at 8 o'clock. Greg, it always flies by. Brilliant night. Really enjoyed your company as always.
Enjoyed it, mate. Enjoyed it.
Rattled through it. We've seen some great tries. We've seen some great debate. And it's the greatest sport on earth, isn't it? That's what it is. And we're fully enjoying the campaign. Rugby at the moment is the winner. I think the first 3 rounds have been superb. Hopefully, round 4.
The attendances are backing that up as well, mate, which is real good to see.
Absolutely.
Let's keep getting to the games.
There's only one thing left to do. And that is to go out with the top performers after 3 rounds in Super League 2023. And enjoy your rugby league this weekend. And we will be back next Tuesday, as always, 8 o'clock. You can't beat a bit of weekly. Have a good weekend,
everyone. Enjoy the game.